tea lover. I'm Naoko, owner of Kita Teas. I'm excited to introduce you to the Japan Craft Collection, which is a collection of 4 phenomenal Japanese green teas. When you open this video, you will notice that you should have received 4 unique Japanese green teas: Gyokuro, Kabuse, Sencha Chumushi, and Sencha Fukamushi, each 1 ounce. And you'll also have received my favorite Japanese teacup, which is called the Hohin, which is made out of Japanese porcelain, and is uniquely actually designed for professional Japanese tea industry tasting professionals. It is just a beautiful vessel where the tea is weighed and then steeped, and then you would have also received a beautiful cup, which is really sold separately at Kita Teas, but really designed to be a set. This color is actually the Fukamushi, so the color is very deep hue because it actually is roasted, which is actually very unique in Japanese steamed green tea style. So let's begin. So I actually would encourage you to potentially start with the Japanese Sencha Chumushi. Okay, so Chumushi means medium steamed and is lightly steamed, and it really is considered an everyday Japanese green tea to drink morning, afternoon. All these teas are considered medium caffeine, so I do not recommend, if you're susceptible to caffeine, not to drink it in the late afternoon or in the evening. Again, it really is subjective to each person's and how you react to caffeine, but don't assume, green tea is very healthy. It is laden with amazing tea benefits because it is known to have antioxidant catechins, and but again, there is caffeine in it, so I do not recommend to drink in the late afternoon or evening. Now, I would recommend drinking this Sencha Chumushi because it's the lightest of this collection, and I'm just gonna pull up my tray over here to see what I have brewed. So it's the one that just is a little forward in front of my face is the Sencha Chumushi. The taste notes are floral, and it has a slight umami mid-palate with a vegetal green tea finish with a soft astringency. The astringency you'll always taste as a whole for these community sinensis teas, and then of course Japanese green teas are known to have a little more vegetal, kind of like a steamed pea or asparagus taste note. So this is Sencha Chumushi. Now we can jump directly to Gyokuro, the king of Japanese green teas. You're gonna notice that Japanese green teas are not a monolith, and it is an absolute different flavor profile than the Chumushi. The Chumushi, the varietal is roughly Yabukita. It is predominantly a varietal called Yabukita, but this Gyokuro has 3 main varietals: the Komakage, Goko, and also a little bit of Yabukita. And so the Goko really makes it very umami rich. And notice the cup color compared to the Chumushi is much more deep and much more green, and the flavor is very oceanic, umami rich. It's as if the surrounding bodies of water have really kind of manifested in this beautiful liqueur, and So there's a soft, subtle floral top note, oceanic seaweed umami mid palate with a long, lingering sweet notes. And this one is specifically from Ujitawaramachi, which is Kyoto, and I have such an amazing relationship with this tea blender for many years, at least 10 years now, and it is an honor to offer it. It's one of my favorites. And again, this one is Gyokuro is shade grown, so it's shade grown with the almost, I would say, synthetic material to filter sunlight to promote slow growth. And when you promote slow growth, the tea flavor is umami rich because the chlorophyll amount is increased and the amino acid content also increases, and that's why you have this beautiful umami, really umami rich flavor profile. The other thing is that I very much recommend it to steep about a tablespoon. You read that on the tasting sheet. You're gonna see that a tasting sheet is in this box as well. It says TBSP for tablespoon, not to be confused with teaspoon. You could still brew with a teaspoon, but I really wanted you to really get this oceanic umami flavor profile out of the steep, and you're really going to notice this pronounced difference, and that's what makes it unique, not only within the Japanese green teas, but amongst all the other tea producing countries that produce green tea. And look at that, that is 1 tablespoon. Now the other bullet point is that all these teas can be re-steeped for up to 3 times. Probably the Gyokuro, you're gonna be able to get 5 extractions out of it. So once you enjoy the first cup, re-steep it with the 140 degrees, and maybe I'll add a little bit of time, as in like 15 to 30 seconds, or you really could play around. There's actually no, tea brewing is an art, it's not an alchemy, so I actually encourage you to I could potentially steep less than the 2.5 minutes, because the leaves have opened up already, so you'll still get an amazing steep, probably a minute. But again, you really could play around and be artful about it. You could steep it for 30 seconds to a minute to 2 minutes, whatever suits your fancy. But I really want you to taste this oceanic umami, so that's the 2.5 minute steep. Then the next one is the kabuse. Now, kabuse also means to cover, to shroud the tea bushes. Not quite covered to 20 days like Gyokuro, so a little less. This one is about 7 days, and hence this is the Gyokuro, this is the kabuse, and a little different in the cup color. Hard to notice, but this has a little more kind of less green, deep green hue. And so this one has a more pronounced floral top note with an umami mid palate, not oceanic like the Gyokuro, but an umami mid palate, and a sweet green tea finish with soft astringency. So this one also is high in theanine, which adds to kind of like matcha is high in theanine as well, antioxidant rich, and so the this one actually originates from Kagoshima, and Kagoshima is, let's see, on the other side of the tasting note, the first page really, you're gonna see the Japanese map, and Kagoshima is the bottommost island right here. Kyushu is in the southern island and way down south. I'm trying to, yeah. And then Kyoto goes up a little more north, which is around here. Yes, indeed. So This too, I highly recommend that you brew a tablespoon. Yes, you read that correctly, a tablespoon, which is about 5 grams for this particular, for the Gyokuro and the Kabu. And so I'm gonna just sip that again. Don't be afraid to slurp and sip through. And you're gonna notice that it's a little. This is the. Excuse me, I can't. Okay, this one is the kabuse. This one is the gyokuro, and it's a little hard to tell through the screen, but it's a little less deeper in color. And then last but not least, with its own kind of characteristic flavor profile, is the fukamushi. And fukamushi means that there's a roast to it, and it has a very robust, toasty, almost like a genmaicha toasted rice profile. And this is a little more sedimented in style, so it's not as pine needle shape as you find the gyokuro and kabuse, or the sencha, for that matter. It's a little more broken, and beautiful heat, and hence it's like the darkest of all. So toasty and robust, but you're still going to notice a subtle floral. The floral is a theme of subtlety for the top note. A vegetal mid palate with a robust toasty green tea finish with a sweet bite at the end. So that really is the entirety of the. Okay, let me just bring these beautiful 4 Japanese green teas to the forefront. I hope you'll enjoy as a collection. It's a little more steep intensive than, because they all are brewing at different temperatures. I think the bottom line is to ensure that you are using really fresh spring water, or fresh spring water. That's like, I don't even get spring water. Fresh filtered water is definitely an investment to make to enjoy these beautiful green teas. And yes, it can be re-steeped 3 times. And I highly recommend, if you want to pair it with a light fare like a salad, or you can even make ochazuke, which is a kind of rice bowl, and then you put on your protein and your seasonings, and then you would put whatever suits your fancy green tea, any of these green teas, to pour it over. I have posted on Instagram ochazuke, which is delicious. Like, you can really, in terms of the protein, I really would recommend like a salmon, kind of like the brininess, and then will go really well with this Japanese green tea. And then I'm wearing this necklace. I don't sell this necklace on Kita Teas, but this is actually from a local nonprofit organization called Refugee Artisan Initiative. So in this set, you would have received this beautiful Japanese tea cloth style tea cloth that is made by local artisan refugee women here based in Seattle. And this is to, wipe your cup, or however, or your table. And the underscore is that we are a social enterprise, so 1% of our total revenue goes to organizations with an aligned mission of women empowering women in underserviced communities. And you could read more about the Refugee Artisan Initiative on kitateas.com website. So I hope that not only are you tasting these amazing Japanese green teas in the beautiful Japanese tea porcelain sets, but to honor the women and the organization who has made these tea cloths as well. So that's it for now. I hope you'll discover other amazing collections that I have created, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye. Thank you.